Hello and good morning. Welcome to Life.EV, a podcast that delves into exploring values. I'm your host, Ajit Panicker, and I lead an air conditioning company, Nova, and Pure Blue, a tech startup in the air conditioning domain. As usual, join us every Saturday at 11 a.m. for conversations that go beyond business growth, focusing on the values that fuel it. So let's embark on a journey to uncover our true purpose and how we can grow by enriching our lives. Welcome to Life.EV, where we explore values in life and business. As always, I have Vivek Asrani with me. Hi, Vivek. How are you doing?
Good, Ajit. How are you doing? Good to see you again.
Absolutely great, man. To our viewers, Vivek Asrani is the driving force behind Kemo Fastener Company, a trailblazing company in the industrial fastener sector. What sets Vivek apart is his deep engagement with the exploration of values. Now, for close to 4 years, he has dedicatedly penned his reflections on this topic every week. These insightful thoughts are accessible on his website, vivekasrani.com. Well, Vivek has also authored the book One Day at a Time, Reflections from Times of Silence, which further delves into his journey and insights. This thought provoking read is available on Amazon, offering readers a chance to engage with his profound understanding of values and their role in both personal and professional lives. In today's episode of Life.EV, we're delving into a compelling topic, the distinction between the circle of life. Vivek, let's hear your reflections on this.
So, Ajit, I think all of us know that there is a cause-effect relationship in the world, and very often in our conversations we say what goes around comes around. But I experienced this firsthand, which really got me thinking. So I was at Frankfurt Airport waiting for a train to go to Cologne, and I was sitting at the Starbucks just above the railway station. And this gentleman comes up to me. I had a trolley and I had my two bags on it. He asked me where I got the trolley from, and I told him that you know this is where you can go get your trolley. So he goes, and after a few minutes he comes back without a trolley. Still with his bags in his hand. I asked him what happened. He said, you need to put a €2 coin to get a trolley. So fortunately, I had some change and I gave him a €2 coin, and he was very reluctant to take it. He said, "No, like I said, listen, just take the money, go get yourself a trolley. It's no big deal." So he smiled, took the €2, and went and got himself a trolley. Came back and thanked me, and he was sitting having his coffee. I was having my coffee. And this happened on a Saturday morning. Saturday. I was in Cologne. Sunday the exhibition started, and I was there for 4 days. So Wednesday morning I was coming back, and at that time I bought a game for my boys, and it was a large box. So on the way back from Cologne, I had now three pieces of luggage, including that bag. And when I reached Cologne station, I somehow got off the taxi and I said, "Okay, how am I going to get onto the train?" And fortunately, I found so I think there was a trolley at the station, and I went there, took it, and I somehow got into the train. And right through the journey, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, how am I going to get from the platform to the check in counter? Because now I've got three pieces of luggage, right? And I really don't know how I'm going to do that. So, anyway, the train stops at Frankfurt. The gentleman in front of me, I requested him whether he could help me with, one small piece of luggage, which he did. So I got off the train, and I had my three pieces of luggage in front of me, and I'm still figuring out and wondering in my head, how am I going to get to the check-in counter? All the passengers had left and they were moving towards, the airport. And suddenly in front of me, there was a trolley. So I looked around and there was nobody around. So I put my three pieces of luggage on the trolley, went to the check-in counter. And when I went to put the trolley back in its place, guess what happens? A €2 coin comes out.
Wow.
And for me, it wasn't a coincidence, right? It was really the circle of life uh, in reality in a very small way, but the principle was getting demonstrated to me, and there was a clear message coming to me that this is what the circle of life is all about. So this kind of reinforced my own belief and a bit of understanding as to what is the circle of life. One is that there is a cause effect relationship in the world. When we feel that we can cheat life, and when we can bypass these principles, the reality is that it comes back at some point or the other. Just because it's not coming back in the short term doesn't mean that it's gone away forever. That is one. Second is, I think for me, it then just made me realize that the important thing in life is to continue doing what I believe is, the right thing, and what's going to help me to achieve my goals, rather than worrying about or getting anxious about the results. But the anxiety still happens. Let me be honest. It's not that it doesn't happen, and very often I have to keep reminding myself on, the circle of life. But the third thing, Ajit, and which has really helped me and held me in good stead, has been the power of goodness. Very often we feel that by being good, we are being naive. People can take advantage. We are walking the straight and narrow. Not everybody else does the same. My belief has always been it doesn't matter. You continue doing what you believe is right. Continue believing in the power of goodness. And therein, I think, lies to me the biggest advantage of understanding the circle of life, because at least, even if I've differed with people, even if I've been through difficult situations, even if I've made mistakes, I have at least tried to hold on to the power of goodness, because that's the one thing I believe, that if I'm doing something with the right intent, somewhere it's going to come back. And I'm not doing it selfishly so that I get something in return, but I just somewhere believe that if I do the right things and I do it with a sense of goodness, uh, things will play out, in a good way, to put it very simplistically. So that really is, what my reflection was all about on the circle of life.
Amazing. I'm going to read something out that you had written in the book. You said, "We may not realize it or have a way to prove it, but circle of life exists." This is what you had written. Now, in a way, don't you think as humans we always seek validation of our beliefs, and that's what prevents us from doing just something for nothing? And like you just get a €2 coin, you just did something for nothing. And if that's the case, how do you act on it? Yeah? Or is it just a faith? It's just belief that okay, you got to just do it. I mean, how do you actually do something which is not validated?
I think it's a great question. And, we exist at two levels here. One is something that we know for sure, right? If I throw uh, a glass ball on the floor, I know it's going to break. So no surprises there, and therefore I will not do it. So I won't throw a glass object on the floor because I know it's going to break. So there are things which we know. But then there is another aspect of life where we can't prove it, but we believe in it. And here lies the test of faith. Because when things are going our way, we kind of validate our beliefs and we say, see, I believed in this and this is happening. The challenge is when things are not going our way, our belief gets shaken. So, to your question, that how do we navigate this and how do we anchor ourselves to our beliefs? But because it's a belief, it's always in the realm of I believe, but I can't prove, or I don't know. I have experienced it, or I know inside or within that this is the right way. And I know somewhere deep within that if I do this, this is the right approach, but I can't prove it. Okay. Herein lies, I think, partly the strength of character. Herein lies the strength of our internal courage. Herein lies the strength of our internal resilience, because our faith, and you use the word faith, our faith and belief is actually tested in difficult times. And in a difficult time, we need our courage, our resilience, and that deep sense of faith. So if you're looking for validation all the time, I don't know whether we're always going to get it, because sometimes the impact of what we've done may come after several years, not even after a few days. In my case, the €2 coin, the impact came in a few minutes, right?
True.
But sometimes it may come after a few years. And that's, to my mind, that's what life is all about. I don't know, you probably had some circle of life experience yourself.
Vivek, something that's very interesting that's happened to me when you're talking about it that comes across my mind. Everyone's been talking about artificial intelligence, right? Now, over the past 7, 8 months, I've been actually quite fascinated, and I've been exploring, learning, and it's a very tedious discovery process, to figure out what AI is all about, how do you apply it in business. And over the last 8, 9 months, I kind of applied a lot of the AI that I learned into the business, and we've seen some fantastic output and great productivity coming out and great effectiveness. So after 8, 9 months having done that, I still continue to spend a lot of time researching around it, and it takes a lot of my time. So I said, hey, listen, I've learned quite a bit. I need to share it with my friends. So I kind of put up a presentation, a plan, a live demo, like the one which I did with you. And I've actually gone out and I've shown it to a lot of people, even for people from my industry, outside my industry, all friends. You know what's interesting that's happened? I've done about close to about 16 such sessions by now. People love it. I
Hmm.
share it with zero intent. And now, after every meeting, there's a group of about 15, 20 people or 30 people. In some cases, there was almost close to about 35, 40 people. In every meeting, there are about 4 or 5 people who get
Hmm.
fascinated, and they get on this research mode. Now,
Hmm.
whenever they discover something, no, they will send it to me. They're saying that, hey, listen, I discovered this. Have you used this? You'll be surprised. I'm learning so much more without even having to spend so much of time researching it. So it's just like a community that you have built around, that's coming back into helping you, discover new things, that's actually helping you in your business. Uh, just, I mean, when you're talking about, the circle of life, sometimes you just do something for nothing, and then you just realize that, hey, there's been a larger play out here. So every time when somebody sends me a message, I just get motivated. I should share with more people, some of the successes that I've had. Just do it. And in a way, that's the kind of impact that it's had on me. But it also, one of the things that comes across my mind, and I wanted to ask you this is, how do you constantly remind yourself on this belief of, circle of life? Is there a way, because it is doing something for nothing, how does it come naturally? How do you actually, is there an easy way to, or a simple way to remember this?
Yeah. I think uh, all these things in life which we hear about, reflect on, the challenge is that when we need it the most, we sometimes either tend to forget it, or in our fit of anger or anxiety, or the mind is just so clouded with the emotion that we lose that precious memory at that point of time, when we need it the most. So I'd heard a very nice way of understanding this, and someone explained this. So I'm going to share that. If you take a ball and throw it against a wall, the ball is going to bounce back and come back to you. If you throw a white ball, the white ball will come back. If you throw a black ball, the black ball will come back. If you throw a black ball, you can't expect the white ball to come back to you. This, in a very simplistic way, is a circle of life. That what we throw out there comes back. If we're throwing out the white balls out there, the white balls will come back to us. So we're throwing out goodness, positivity, not hurting others, doing our duty, then good things will happen.
Yeah.
The difference is that in the real world, when I throw a ball, I know that in so many seconds it will come back, because the law of science is at play over there. So I know the distance, I know the speed. However, the in the science of life and the principles in life, we don't know the time lag between our throwing something out there and the consequence coming back to us. And when it doesn't come either immediately or within what we expect to be a reasonable amount of time, we start doubting the very principle itself. And therein lies our biggest challenge, our biggest failure if we then let go and say, listen, this principle doesn't work, or our biggest strength if we say, listen, the principle works, that ball is going to come back to me. Let me just have the faith and the patience. In its own time and place, it'll come back. So this, in a way, has always helped me to remind myself of this simple principle, that what am I throwing out there? And if what I'm throwing out there is constantly a white ball or as much as I can, then why am I worried? Because the principle of life will take care of what's going to come back to me. And I just want to read a few lines from the reflection I had written on this, Jeet, that when we realize that our present is the effect of our past, we empower ourselves knowing that our future is being carved out in the present. What we have done, we cannot undo. So once you've thrown a ball, now you can't call it back. But life allows us the chance to do the right things in the right way here and now and build a better future for ourselves. So it's not that we only have that one ball and one chance in life. Okay, we may have thrown a few black balls. Some consequences have come which were not desirable. We made mistakes. It doesn't matter. Every day we get a chance to go out there and keep throwing things out. Uh, and the circle of life exists. Therefore, if we continue doing the right things, notwithstanding all the mistakes we may have made in the past, the future is only going to be better for us.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, fantastic. Well, to all our viewers, that's all the time that we've had for this thought provoking discussion with some deep insights. Now, it certainly gives us all plenty to ponder about the balance between exploring values and business growth. Now, I'm going to encourage each of you to not just keep these ideas to yourself, share this episode with your friends, colleagues, and family, and spark a conversation and see where it leads. And we'd love to hear from you. Join the dialogue on our social media platforms, share your questions and insights, and I'm sorry, uh, share your insights with us. And your voice matters in shaping in a more ethically driven business world. Now, that's it that we have for today. Join us again next week for another enriching episode on Life.EV, where we continue our exploration into the fascinating world of exploring values in our lives. Thank you, Vivek, for all those valuable contributions today. We're looking forward to diving deeper into these critical discussions in our next session. See you next week, where we will unravel more insights and perspectives that shape our ethical compass. Thank you for listening, and remember to reach out to your friends and get a conversation going on life exploring values.
Thanks, Ajit.
Thanks, Vivek.
Look forward to circling back next week.
Next week. See you. Bye.